Limited. Sir, this is Ghana Education Service. Can't we have an education program for our accountants on how to handle documents? Or somebody else should come and create a school to teach Ghana Education Service how to handle documents.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We, as Ghana Education Service, have been training our staff on how to handle documents, especially the accounts department. It's an exercise that we will continue to do. But there are these isolated cases.
You heard a member of the Public Accounts Committee, Samuel Atamils, and the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Eric Nkansa. To some more stories, the Ghana Statistical Service's Ghana Demographic and Health Survey has revealed that 76% of men aged 15 to 49 in Ghana are unaware of their HIV status. Additionally, only 28% of men in this age group reported using condoms during sex with non-cohabiting partners. In comparison, women showed higher awareness with around 54% testing to know their HIV status and 11% using condoms during sexual intercourse with non-cohabiting partners. The acting director of demography at the Ghana Statistical Service, Godwin Odejebi, encouraged Ghanaian men to take a more active interest in knowing their HIV status.
Only 11% indicated that they use a condom, that is for the women. Whilst that of the men, the figure is 28%. So for ever tested for HIV and received the results, women is 54% and that of the men is 24%. So you see that the men, we are not doing well as far as the women are concerned. Then also, those who tested for HIV in the last 12 months and received the results, the figure is 15% for women and 7% for men.
Well, the Statistical Service also found that nearly 80% of Ghanaians have discriminatory attitudes towards persons living with HIV.
74% of those women who indicated that they have heard of HIV indicate that no, for them, they will not buy from a shopkeeper or from a seller. And 65% of men indicated that they will also not buy. So you see over here, a higher proportion of women than men indicated that they will not buy fresh vegetables from a shopkeeper or a seller. Discriminatory attitude towards people living with the HIV. Over here, the proportion of 78% of women indicated that, yes, they have some or they have behaved in a way which is discriminatory towards the persons with HIV. So, and then that of the men is 72%.
You heard Godwin Odejebi. He serves as the acting director of demography at the Ghana Statistical Service. Now let's do some politics now. The Greater Accra Regional Minister and New Patriotic Party parliamentary candidate for Ayawaso Central, Henry Korte, has clarified that he maintains a cordial relationship with Sheikh Isikwe despite publicly supporting his opponent during the recently concluded primary. Sheikh Isikwe, who has been labelled as Mr. Korte's political godfather, endorsed Moses Abo in the poll in last weekend's poll. Now reacting to the matter on Citi TV's face-to-face program, Henry Korte says political differences has not overshadowed their mutual respect and understanding.
Isikwe is my godfather. He continues to be my godfather, and he will be my godfather.
Even now, after he endorsed someone, he's still your godfather?
Oh, yes, why not? You see, let's get this straight. Henry Korte, nobody knew me. I worked with him right in this yard as a special assistant, right from 2007, 2006. And then arising out of that, I've gotten to where I've gotten to. I've made this statement about 3 days ago. Biblically, it says, honor thy father and thy mother, and thy days may be long. I leave that between him and his God. But as for me, I'll do what is needed of me as a son to my godfather. That I'll do.
How and why did you fall out with Sheikh Ibrahim Kujokwe
to the best of my knowledge, I haven't fallen out with him. Maybe he wants me to go in a style that I also feel that I have to be my own man. That's all it is.
When did he
my
start?
own man, not forgetting my roots, that he's my godfather.
So he wanted you to be a poodle?
Well, I wouldn't say that. Maybe he
wanted you to be a puppet?
Well, I would say that.
But it looks like it.
No, it's not.
Well, when asked questions about why the government's proposed plan to relocate Abosuokai spare parts dealers or the center to Afienya in 2022 backtracked, the regional minister attributed it to political interference.
Along the line, politics got into it. A group of the people in Abosuokai thought that, hey, well, they're not ready to move. One section said they were ready to move. So they started fighting among them. And of course, we were then getting to, we should have done this in the first year. So that's why I was moving very fast. Once you get to the second and third year, get into election year, it's difficult to do this thing.
There are so many people, not only them who will be fighting you, you also have internal fights.
Yes, and because it involves a lot of money, we needed them to agree and sign their MOUs and all that. Then we can get the banks to go to site and start with the infrastructure work. You know.
Do you see it ever happening?
Well,
I
think that if government should put its mind to it, one day it's going to be a huge investment area for Ghana. Because my thinking was that we could have a Dubai in Ghana.
Henry Korte is the Greater Accra Regional Minister and the New Patriotic Party's parliamentary candidate in Ayawaso Central. Let's stay in politics now. The flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has stated that the next NDC government would not accept or recognize the SML agreement, regardless of the outcome of Parliament's investigations. Mr. Mahama, responding to questions about how he would address corruption if re-elected during an engagement with professional bodies in Kufuor, expressed his commitment to strengthen the fight against corruption and asserted that the SML agreement would be nullified.
And he says that for every oil that is exported, we'll give you 75 cents on every barrel. And he says for every gold that is exported, we'll give you 75 cents. So monitor it for us. And so this is a company that would easily have run away with about $100 million every year for no work done. And I mean, you cannot fleece a country like this. One would have thought that the corruption cases were enough, but it's even made Ghanaians numb. Now Ghanaians are not surprised again. Corruption does not shock Ghanaians the way it used to shock us. Today, when there's a scandal, people are like, oh, because they are all tired. Everybody is tired. And so even in the twilight, when you are about to exit office, you are still coming up with schemes to steal Ghanaians' money. But I said that this won't happen. An NDC government under me will not accept or recognize this SML agreement. We will not accept or recognize the SML agreement. Parliament is investigating it. The president has hurriedly gone to get KPMG to come and audit it. Whatever audit they do, I say won't accept or respect any agreement with SML.
John Mahama is former president and flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress. We'll stay with him because he has criticized the Electoral Commission, expressing concerns about its attempts to implement reforms that could cast doubts on the integrity of the next general election. He specifically mentioned the proposal to move the election date from December 7 to November 7, suggesting that such changes could lead to chaos if they do not achieve their desired results.
Since year 2 about 2020, aka be bosom 9 months near 2 about for. You are now coming with major changes. You find indelible income, but you say. When you start you don't build the confidence of the people in the electoral process.
The EC is now proposing major changes 9 months to the elections. When that happens, a lot of people don't have confidence in the system. We have complained about a lot of things, but there are still no reforms. The Peace Council spoke to the party, and we have agreed to go back to IPAC. You should have engaged us last year. The timing is very wrong.
Why wait till now? You don't spring surprises on people like that. From last year, changes. You don't wait till 9 months to an election. Now, more best spring surprises. Yakona new Juma ne de Basabasa Yobia, Eba. It will affect all of us. Into your position, no.
You heard John Dramani Mahama, his flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, a while longer with the party because it is optimistic about securing the electorate's mandate in the 2024 general elections to win more seats in parliament and the presidential race. Both the NDC and the New Patriotic Party have selected candidates for the 275 constituencies in the upcoming elections. Concerns have been raised about the potential lack of experience in the next parliament due to the departure of key MPs after the primaries of both parties. Now, in response to these concerns, General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Fiavikwete, says it is important to have individuals with diverse experience entering Parliament.
It's almost like a global issue at the moment. I'm watching the US at the moment, and it's even a push for them to be a term limit. Some candidates, some of the, for example, Republican candidates are actually pushing that if they became they want to become the president of the U.S., they will have a maximum 2-term limit. So I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. This situation where it appears as if it's only people who want to remain in parliament forever who are capable of getting the experience, I don't particularly believe in it. I think what we need to rather encourage is to maybe push for a lot more people with experience to be entering parliament. Parliament should stop being an avenue where young people who have never worked think that's the only way they also can get quick access to maybe some money, and therefore they have no experience and therefore they are rushing into it. It's not bad, but we need to be looking at a situation where you enter in public service from a position of experience, where you are bringing something to that public service. Having garnered experience in different places, you bring that experience now to benefit the public.
Fifi Fiavikwete is the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. Still ahead, Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana declares nationwide strike effective February 1. We'll tell you more shortly. Please stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
The Heritage Caravan 2024 is officially sold out. The buses are primed, participants are eager, and the itinerary is loaded. Now pack your bags and get on the Heritage Caravan. From the Greater Accra region to the Volta region to the Eastern region to the Bono region, Ahafo region, Bono East region to the Upper East region to the Northern region to the Savannah region to the Northeast region to the Ashanti region to the Western North region to the Western region, the Central region, and back to the Greater Accra region. The Heritage Caravan will last for 8 days from Sunday the 3rd of March to Sunday the 10th of March 2024. An expedition full of excitement, education, information, wonderful memories, and great bonding moments awaits you. This is a journey of a lifetime to discover Ghana. Follow all Citi TV and 97.3 Citi FM social media handles for updates with the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2024. The Heritage Caravan 2024 is powered by Citi TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM, and it's proudly sponsored by the National Lottery Authority, Goyle PLC, and Hollard Insurance. Terms and conditions apply.
What is this I'm hearing about some economic census?
Yes, the Ghana Statistical Service is conducting a nationwide census of all businesses called the Integrated Business Establishment Survey, popularly known as IBES.
A census of businesses? What is that for?
Well, for businesses to grow, they will need data on all business activities for decision making to enhance their profitability.
Hey, so does it mean my top bar is part of this exercise?
Of course it is. All businesses, whether for profit or non-profit, are included.
Okay, but won't my personal information be disclosed?
Not at all. Data collected will be kept confidential and used solely for statistical purposes, so your individual information is well protected.
Really? So when is it starting and how can I help?
This exercise will begin in January 2024. Help by giving the right information to the field staff who will be visiting your business.
Remember, support GSS to provide you with the right data for your business growth and national development. 2024 IBES, data for prudent business decisions.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. This is the Citi Prime News. Let's do some education stories now. The Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana has declared a nationwide strike effective February 1, 2024. The strike is in response to the government's failure to address various concerns, including welfare needs, Tier 2 pension funds, vehicle maintenance allowance, and overtime allowance. The union has withdrawn various services, including cleaning the environment, setting up classrooms, providing security, and hospital services. The national chairman of TEU, Suleiman Abdul Rahman, stated that a strike would continue until their concerns are addressed.
Following the lackadaisical nature of the employer, which is the government of Ghana, to address the challenges and problems of TEU members in the traditional public universities, the Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana is hereby declare an indefinite strike. And the strike takes effect from 1st February, which will be Thursday, until further notice. TEU Ghana urges government and all stakeholders to use this opportunity to swiftly address the legitimate concerns raised of other state trade unions to avoid subsequent unnecessary strike actions from other state unions in the public universities.
You heard the national chairman of the Tertiary Education Workers Union of Ghana, Suleiman Abdul Rahman. Away from that anti-corruption campaign, Vital Azim has urged the government to grant heads of various anti-corruption agencies the independence to carry out their mandates. This call comes in the wake of the latest Corruption Perception Index report, ranking Ghana 70th out of 180 countries in terms of corruption. Ghana has consistently held this position since 2020. Now, speaking on the matter, Vital Azim stressed the need for accountability and called for a re-evaluation of the government's approach in handling corruption-related offences in the country.
The country has not actually been fighting corruption. The country has just been talking a lot about corruption. That's why we are not succeeding in dealing with corruption. We don't take action that will make corruption very unattractive. In fact, we tend to rather make corruption very attractive to people. And it has become more or less acceptable to the entire society that, okay, it's okay for you to steal from the public. Maybe we should even use the word steal instead of calling it corruption. That it's okay to steal from the public. And so people now do it with impunity. Once there's impunity, you're not likely to succeed in dealing with the canker. The Office of Special Prosecutor is not the first anti-corruption institution that has been set up in this country. Just one additional institution is not necessarily enough to curb the canker. And it's not just a matter of setting up institutions or enacting laws that can just deal with corruption. It has to do with actually implementing, enforcing the laws that we've set up, letting the agencies that have been set up to sit up and do their work without any fear or intimidation. They need the adequate resources to do their work. They need the independence that requires fighting corruption to be able to fight corruption. They need to work without looking at the back to see whom are we likely to displease. And that has been lacking with our anti-corruption institutions. You see, when you sit down in your house and they announce that you are appointed as this or that to deal with a particular thing, you see it as a favor that has been done to you. And so whatever you are doing, you don't want to do anything that would displease the one who called you and gave you that appointment. We must change our systems. We shouldn't just establish the systems, but make sure that we make them strong and independent to do their work. So you blame the government, but also blame the heads of these institutions.
Vital Azim is an anti-corruption crusader. To more stories this afternoon, the reconstruction of the 4-lane Accra-Tema motorway will cost $338 million. This is according to the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Roads and Highways, Nasser Ahmed Yate. The project, which is part of the motorway expansion initiative, aims to expand the motorway to 4 lanes. Mr. Yate gave an insight on the timelines, construction approach and cost of the project in an interview with host of the City Breakfast show, Bernard Avle.
The current 4-lane motorway is going to be a motorway that there will be no access. Once you enter, you cannot come out. It's from one end to the other end. You cannot come out. But with the urban express highway, you can get on it and go off and come back. The motorway itself is going to be concrete as it is now. So we will remove the current concrete which has outlived its lifespan and put some borders under it, rebuild the base, and then put the concrete over it again.
So by November, the 3-lane express highway on either side will be finished. Then traffic will move there. Then you will start the motorway. What is the cost of the project?
The approval we received from Parliament was for $338 million.
Now, motorists who use the Tema motorway have observed the asphalting of sections of the highway that had deadly potholes. While some have lauded the move for easing their commute, others have criticized the use of bitumen on a concrete road. Nasser Ahmed Yate has been explaining the rationale behind the development.
What is happening is that the contractor has the responsibility to maintain the motorway in terms of the driving surface and also traffic management as he constructs the new motorway. And so in order to improve the flow of traffic, the contractor undertook sectional repairs. So he did asphaltic overlay on sections that were very bad. I think asphaltic, the thickness of it was about 4-inch asphalt was put on sections of the motorway to improve the driving surface. So when you go to the motorway now, you will not find those traffic jams that you used to have on the motorway. What is going to happen is that the contractor is going to start the construction with the 3-lane express urban highway, 3-lane urban highway on both sides. It is when he finished constructing the urban highway, then we move the traffic from the current motorway onto the urban highway and then reconstruct the current motorway to concrete finishing. In fact, this current motorway, the contractor is, as part of this contract, is going to raise it up a bit and then put another concrete on it. So that is the plan for the motorway.
Nasser Ahmed Yate is Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Before we go, the Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Samuel Nete-George is urging the Akufo-Addo government to promptly implement the recommendations of the Emil Short Commission of Inquiry, which investigated the violence during the Ayawaso West by-election 5 years ago. The commission was tasked to thoroughly and impartially inquire into the circumstances leading to the events and violence during the 2019 polls. Samuel Nete-George criticized President Akufo-Addo for rejecting some of the recommendations and called for justice for the victims.
The pain these Ghanaians have gone through, it is my prayer every day when we celebrate the anniversary that for every one of them who perpetrated this, including President Akufo-Addo and everyone in government who was part of this, may their children and their children and their children feel multiples of that pain, and may pain never depart from their family. Because it was a clear, calculated attempt to destroy people. A young man, Ishao Yaro, was on his way out of this country to go and ply his trade as a footballer and earn a living for his family. He was shot in the leg.
Samuel Nete-George is Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram. And on that note, we end today's edition of Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Adabraka, Accra. For more news, visit citinewsroom.com. My name is Ajwa Tenkrama Domina. Thank you so much for listening.
Citi News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302-224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.
Unleash the stadium experience in your home from January 12th to the last day of the tournament. Ignite your African Cup of Nations with incredible deals on Hisense TVs.